Did you listen to Jeff and Professor Hemo in the morning? Here's what you missed.
She is the chair. June Jago, welcome to Hot 96.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
just sijongea sana so.
You see how early we wake up to go?
I see, but I wake up at 4 in the morning as well. So.
You do, huh?
Yes.
So how is it being an MC? I mean, MCA, just explain to us. And because you people get a really bad rap.
Yes.
Mwanarusha viti.
Kufukuza
speaker. Kuimpeach governor.
Yes. Na kutubu MP kwa constituency.
What's it like, Jim? What's it like?
It's fantastic. I love it. I love the fact that my mandate basically is to legislate. My mandate is to oversight the executive and also to represent the people on the ground. So I love that the fact that MCAs are a bridge between the people and the county governments. Exactly.
Do you think you're getting a bad rap when they say your job is just to impeach? This oversight of yours is basically to impeach anyone who doesn't agree with what you guys want.
Of course, you guys have to sell newspapers, right? So you pick the bad stories. I have not seen you come outside and ask what exactly we have done.
Yes,
I mean, it would sell to say that, oh, she passed a certain bill that is going to assist the youth. It can't be on the front page. We want to see shenanigans on the front page to sell the papers, and we totally understand. That is why we seek to come to shows like this to just show that there is this other good side of it.
Okay, tell us one good thing you guys have done, especially in Nairobi County. Tell us one.
We have reduced parking, haven't we?
From 300 to 200.
To 200, Bob. That's a step.
But isn't that encouraging more private vehicles into the CBD?
It really does not change much. The private vehicles that are there in the CBD, 300 to 200, is more or less the same. It does not. We actually tend to give Mwananchi a better deal by giving them 200 bob. But the number of cars is the same number of cars. Doesn't mean that people are going to import more cars just because we have reduced it to 200 shillings. No, that is just something that we decided to give Wanjiku and say that because the governor had actually promised it when he was campaigning, so let's give it to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Generally, are you guys getting along with your governor?
Of course we are. Very well. Yes.
He's a good guy.
He's good people. You know? Yeah. He's the kind of guy who has the heart for the people. That's for sure. I can say it is not for sure. He genuinely has a heart for the people, and he also likes he does not keep you and say, oh, you've done a good job and yet you haven't done a good job. So some people might find that a bit unorthodox, but for him it's working, and we love working with him.
Yeah, but you guys you threw out your last speaker. Goodness gracious me, Beatrice Alaji. I mean, she seemed like she couldn't harm a fly. Before you know it,
take it.
I mean, and that is something that I cannot discuss on radio because it is still a case in court. But what I must say is that we have an acting speaker who is up to the task. Until we get maybe a go-ahead, I mean a decision from court saying that now she's totally out or she's back in, we'll cross that bridge when you get there. You will call me to give my comments on that. But now, let's wait for the judges to do their thing.
Okay, but you have a speaker. What you're saying is life goes on.
That life goes on. And we are stable. Nairobi County Assembly is stable, so we can continue.
How often do you guys meet as an assembly?
Okay, we have, other than the committees that we sit in, we meet 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, between 2:30 and 4:30.
That's it?
That's it.
6 hours a week?
But we have committees that we sit
in between.
Yes. So you will have a committee, maybe like now I know PAC committee is going on because of the Auditor General's report, which I happen to sit in, and we have so many witnesses that we need to ask questions and interrogate and stuff like that. PAC is an evidence-based committee, so these guys are coming in morning and afternoon. So even now that we are still on recess, there are committees that are going on morning and afternoon.
And how many are you? You're 122 in Nairobi County?
We are 122, yes.
How many elected?
85.
85?
Yes.
And
the rest are nominated.
Yes. And what's the gender balance like?
Because of the gender top-up, because most of them who are nominated are women, I can say we are balanced. But I still think that we have we at least we have the 2/3 that we are talking about. What I would like to see happening more is the 2/3 also in chairing some of our committees, because all the committees other than 2 are being chaired by men. I hope they would give this opportunity also to women to actually chair these committees. Yeah. Yeah.
And what do they refer to you guys when you go to your assembly? Are you a Mweshimiwa? What do they call you?
Yes, the honorable member.
Jesus Christ.
Yes,
Honorable.
I look like one.
No, you look like one. You talk like one. Kwanza hapo umepepa she's a politician. Huyu. Watu wakumbuke hii.
Kuna future.
Wakumbuke hii jina.
So
Very soon.
as chair of the Kenya Young Members of County Assemblies, right?
Yes.
Now you are the caucus of all 2,222.
No, we are 1,027. 1,027 of us. We have, of course, the nominated ones, the ones who are nominated as youth, because parties nominate 2 as youth in the assemblies, and then we have the rest who are nominated either in gender top-up or are elected. You'd be surprised that we have about 727 young MCs elected in this country.
In the various wards, in the various
wards in the country, we have 727.
As in under 35?
Under 35 at the time of election.
Wow.
That's nice, eh?
And how often do you meet? I mean, how often are you be able to meet?
It's a bit difficult, so what we've done is we have mapped the country into regions, and so it is easier for people to meet around their region. But at least once every year we have a launch. We normally have like a seminar or a summit. This time round, this year we are going to have a launch of our strategic plan, which is going to incorporate many other things that we want to do with the young people of this country. And we also have the legislative summit and the GovCon that's going to happen in March in Kirinyaga. Yes, the devolution conference.
When you were elected MCA, did you know that the task ahead of you was going to be as challenging as it is in a city like Nairobi?
No, I did not think so. I had a totally different view. I thought I was going to get in there, buy new heels, wear nice suits. But you find it's a very difficult space. You have to create your own space. You have to have at least this one thing that you want to do by the time you leave office. And I find that sometimes it's a bit challenging by the time you get oriented, by the time you get to know how the county works, by the time you get to know maybe the difference between the executive and the assembly and your mandate. So if you're not a fast learner, it might take a year or 2.
Yeah.
But at the time I was getting in there, I think I knew what I wanted to do. It is just the how to do it that now I had to figure out.
Do people quit? I mean, like you mentioned, it's sometimes you get in thinking it's going to be one thing, it turns out to be another, and say, hey, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Do they do that? Are they quitting?
But there was a scare about some guy who wanted to quit. I think elected MCAs normally say it's very difficult because there's a lot that Mwananchi is expecting from another member.
Yeah.
So it can get really taxing, and you have seen our salary is public knowledge. It's 144, but then again you have 6,000 people who elected you into office.
Yes.
And even the ones who didn't elect you to office, you're the one who's representing that particular ward. It comes with it's a heavy burden.
Wewe ndio mheshimiwa. Kwa hivyo harusi zote, matanga, mtoto amebatizwa.
Bursaries wanaitisha.
Niko na idea.
Are you serious?
So it's really heavy.
Yeah.
But they manage somehow. Ni wanaume.
Ni kutoka.
Jaribu.
Mocheni inaweza isha.
So, but they get by. They get by. Most of them, what I've seen doing in Nairobi County, especially, is a civic education. They try and get their people into groups, like women groups and youth groups and PWD groups, to try and explain to them that my mandate is ABCD. Yeah.
And what is yours, June? What is yours exactly? What change do you want to bring coming into this role as MCA?
I am passionate about trade. I want to speak trade. I want to be able to just get stakeholders who can be able to forge trade, and especially trade by the youth. Just let's go out, let's discuss this thing that was started back in the day when people were doing barter trade. How come right now we cannot say that we have this number of entrepreneurs? What is the gap? How can we bridge that gap to make the youth not actually seek for white-collar jobs, but get out there and have an idea and sell it.
So, okay, what kind of trade are we talking? Are we talking mama mboga trade? Are we talking
everything? Because policies can change mama mbogas. We can bring in legislation that says we have a standard of markets to be built like this. We have a certain place for mama mbogas to be able to sell, and if we do that in legislation, then I'm sure even you will walk to that mama mboga to go and buy wares. But we are also talking about technology. How can youth create some certain say app and be able to sell it? How can he be able to make money out of it? We are talking about youth in the film industry. How can we be able to support? What can we be able to do to bridge that gap so that film in Kenya leads to money in their pockets?
There was a guy last week, I don't know if a couple of weeks ago, he just used to grow avocados in his garden. I think it was in Muranga, right? Avocados, and people laughed at him and said, "What are you going to do with these avocados?" Some Chinese and they bought his entire farm.
Yes.
Or his avocados for the next I don't know how many years. This man is rolling in the dough now. Avocado peke.
Mafuta inaenda, the husk yenyewe inachukuliwa.
Correct. Salad.
Salad.
Maybe that's something else we should discuss, because when Uhuru Kenyatta signed the trade deal between Kenya and China, we have seen a lot of Chinese come in, and they came in basically because of macadamia and avocados. But I was in a meeting just the other day with the Kenya Investment Authority guys, and they were telling me that we are not being able to bridge the gap of what the outside world wants. Like there's no food outside, and we have it here. So
the demand is
huge. And this is what basically we are going to be focusing on at the Devolution Conference during the pre-summit for the youth. We want to tell people, let's go back to the basics, because if there's no food now, can you imagine what will happen in, let's say, 2030? Exactly. And stuff is being used, like macadamia, they're buying it to get macadamia oil. You know, nowadays babes are all about, let's go natural and everything. So it's a place where Chinese are coming and saying, hey, this is your farm, is this the standard? Then I have bought you off for maybe the next 2, 3, 4 years. So kazi yako tu ni kwenda uchimbie avocado, make sure imetoa avocado mingi, unaketi huko.
Ni makorofia na wewe.
Ni wewe.
Fegi makorofia.
And that's it.
That's it. And they want a lot of products because they don't have enough meat, they don't have enough chicken, they don't have enough eggs. They don't have that is why I think we are seeing all these fabrications and guys trying to make plastic. The unemployment gap that you're talking about, we can actually bridge it. We can actually do it.
There's this problem ya nini licensing. Burden kubwa, mtu yuko na kinyozi na half of the kinyozi imepangwa licensing. Hata ana ile picha ya kuweka ya style.
Your president. Your style.
Ile ya style. Nataka kunyolewa hii. Hakuna. Juu hapo kuna ya kajo, ya maji, ya harufu, ya opinion, ya nema, sauti. Zimepangwa. Kufikiria tu kufanya hiyo biashara peke yake. Ni kwanza. How are you going to help? Who does that? Kijana tu wako mtaani sasa.
The trade committee tunajaribu ku bring all those licenses together. We are at a very advanced stage, so that when you pay for the license, depending on what business that you're running, then you have one license that shows you if say you're paying 13,000, it has been broken down to this is fire, this is maybe health department, this is now the actual trading license. No, we are careful. So tunakam pole
you of 13,000. Can you do it?
It's a lot of money,
because imagine mtu akienda
tuliloa by the hata za vinyuzi tuliloa by I think 2,000 bob.
Wow.
Kwa finance bill yetu tuliloa the finance bill that the governor sent the other day. Tumeloa pia mama mboga tu awalipi nini hizo daily, the daily rate, the 50 bob they're not paying anymore. So what I tuone niliwaambia hii finance bill ilikuwa ya mwananchi kabisa, it was totally for
na Chinese pia wame infiltrate Gikomba.
Yes, wako huko bana. Tunapima malongi na wao. Yani tuchukue EPZ tuwapelekee waturudishie alafu bado watuuzie mtumba. what are you doing with kitu kani unfair competition?
Yeah, it is unfair competition.
Niliona mheshimiwa Jagu amepeleka mswada kwa bunge akisema anataka kukuwe na fair competition. Let's see what comes out of that, because nafikiri he's the most affected kwa sababu Gikomba iko kwa constituency yake. But it's something I would also like to look into. Chinese wako kila mahali, si Gikomba peke yake. The other day tuliona SGR walikuwa wameleta shida. Sakaja na Mutula waliongea about it kwa Senate. So I think it's something that it's a conversation that should happen nationally. Ndio tujue kama tunawaachia Kenya.
Tusonge tukidogo.
But let's just have a solution this year.
Speaking of fair trade or unfair trade, we're having a hard time trading with Tanzania right next door. Let's face it, hawatupendi. Kenyans facing harassment in Tanzania while trading. Kenyan traders forced to hire Tanzanian vehicles to ferry goods into Tanzania. Tanzanian goods moving freely into Kenya, but Kenyan goods cannot move freely. There's no reciprocation. Kenyan fishermen being illegally harassed. Remember that banning of live chickens from Kenya? Wakazi choma zote, remember? I mean, what is it? How are we going to balance that trade with our next door neighbors?
This is a conversation that we have to take to the AU. I am not exactly sure, because I don't want to say I'm sure what we need to, how we can be able to engage. But I remember there's a lot of even tourists who are crossing in from the Mara to the Serengeti was also a big problem. So it affected our tourism somehow. But it's a conversation that we have to take to the AU. Remember Jeff in the County Assembly of Nairobi. When I get to Bunge, maybe you can.
Huko ndio naenda. Huko ndio naenda.
Unaona? When I get to Bunge, I like that. I like that. These are my youth. My youth.
Sasa tumechangamka.
Kabisa.
Wanatunyima tenda lakini tuko nao.
Tuko tunashikilia.
There is another problem nimeona kwa counties. The youth wanapatiwa tenders ana supply. Lakini kulipwa. Unazunguka. Unanyang'anywa kila kitu na Shailo Kabana ulikuwa umeomba shilingi. Then you're crippled for life. How are you attending to such it was a concern everywhere, the whole country actually, because even ministries have actually delayed payments for youth, and it's we actually petitioned the Senate to tell us or to come up with something that can say that if this is a youth and has proven to be a youth, then the 90-day payment policy should stand. You know, after you supply, the 90 days you pay, because otherwise we'll cripple our youth.
Correct.
Most of them go and get loans. Mtu amechukua loan na nyumba ya madhake. The other, you know, there's someone who committed suicide. There's a youth who committed suicide because she has gotten a loan with her mother's house, and she was their only house. So payments were delayed. She could not take it anymore. She has borrowed extra money from Shylocks and stuff, and I mean, it just got into her. And she committed suicide. So these are things that we will actually push as KYMC. It's a conversation that we will have at the devolution conference. And after this conversation, Jeff, we want to see it translate to the ground.
Tell me something, when is the devolution conference again?
It's in March, the first week of March, I think from the 2nd to the 4th of March.
In Kirinyaga County?
In Kirinyaga County.
Yeah. Minji. Yes, sir. Ben Japinika, tweets are coming in thick and fast. Ben Japinika says, ask Mheshimiwa why the city is a dark hole at night. For example, Latema Road, where there was that terrorist incident the other day, Latema Road, there's a pit hole right at the City Hall roundabout in front of Supreme Court. Are they really carrying out their oversight role? So there's a big pit hole outside City Hall, and Latema Road is very dark. Mheshimiwa? I'm aware, see, Governor.
Me, of course, you ni kazi ya governor, but nitauliza there's a lighting program that's coming into Nairobi County that is supposed to go concurrently, I think, with the BRT. So wambi wavumilie tu governor kidogo, hizi vitu zote zitatengenezwa. I mean, tumejaribu so far so good. Tumetengeneza Pumwani, tumetengeneza Mbagathi Hospital. So hata hiyo ingine ya lighting tutatengeneza bado. And I will for sure take that to the right department about that.
All right, Ben, you heard it.
Amesema vizuri hapo pa BTR. tunatakiwa tuache gari zetu tao.
Yeah.
Sasa
Wednesday.
mlipigiwa simu mkaambiwa vile mtaambia watu wenu watawachaga wapi gari? Juu kama mtu anaishi tuseme Pagathi. Anaishi Pagathi na anataka kwenda town. Huyu mtu atakuwa hapo ni pa kutembea ama achukue baiskeli. How are we going to be doing it?
Si tuliambiwa tu exercise.
CBD itakuwa wapi? Uhuru highway?
Kutakuwa na solution. I am sure kutakuwa na solution. Ya magari zinaweza fika at least wapi, hata kama ni Uhuru Park on this other side, alafu upande nyingine mahali zinaweza fika. But we are still asking for more time. Ile kitu tulifanya ni vile hatuko in session saizi. Tulikuwa na meeting na speaker. We are asking for more time to see whether this can actually work, how it will affect people, considering kuko na PWDs. We have maybe pregnant mothers who are driving into town. Kuna wazee pengine wana crisscross from one side of town kwenda hospital at the other side of town. So we have to think about it more. So tuliuliza for a bit of time. I hope tutakuwa granted ndio tujue vile tutasoma.
Ndio isianze Friday.
Isianze.
Please,
you know,
shikilieni.
Ikitu, in the beginning, it's going to be rough.
Yes.
It's going to be messy.
Yes.
But maybe it'll find its way.
Maybe.
Yes, it will. It will morph into now one beautiful thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey, lakini si beast ni emergency vehicle. Lazima.
Kitu yote haina nini? Sana siseme. Usichome.
All right, let's take a break, come back, and maybe you have some questions out there. We're talking to Nairobi County MCA June Ndegwa. She's also chairperson of the Kenya Young Members of County Assemblies nationwide. A huge, huge organization there. Talking about youth and trade and how you guys can be a part of the future of Kenya. We'll take a break, come back, plenty more ahead.
Kabisa. Naona huyo.
Nani?
Ridoro Junior.
Oh, Junior anasemaje?
Amesema I ran this boutique in Kangemi and I'm asked to smoke around 15k for a business permit by the county. Hapo hujaweka rent, electricity bill and other expenses. What does that translate to?
Yeah.
And who does that in January? Who does that?
Back in a moment. Of the Kenya Young Members of County Assemblies nationwide. That's a huge responsibility. Did you get elected for that, June?
Yes, I did. Last year during the legislative summit in Mombasa.
Did you have to campaign for it?
Because, yes, kind of. Because but there was not much time to campaign. So, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, Kimutai Korir is saying about these benchmarking trips MCAs normally make. Are they really necessary or just costing the taxpayer? I knew that one had to come. Mheshimiwa, jibu swali.
Benchmarking is actually necessary, if you ask me. Right now, we also have Rwanda, which has come. Zimbabwe? I think they have come to benchmark in Kenya to see how we're doing things. So it's not only Kenya that benchmarks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Other countries actually do benchmark, and they have taken examples of benchmarking that have worked is Bogota. I think they went to Canada to benchmark and they came up with a fantastic transport system that is still ongoing and they're still building right now. So what we should be asking ourselves is whatever we are going to benchmark, what are we going to learn from it and how can we actually implement it in this country.
Na Zambia walikuja kuona vile tuna fight corruption.
Yes.
But tuna fight corruption actually.
Uliona mwingine alichekelewa juzi, alikuwa wewe bloggers. Tulikuletea shida ukakata. Kasema it's unconstitutional.
Yeah. KK is tuned in from Eldoret, Eldorado LD. He says we have leaders like Honorable June Ndegwa, then we have hope.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, KK.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hala?
That is really nice.
That's nice. Tutampigia picha.
Mara moja. Mona Olimu.
Yes, from all the way from Calgary, Canada.
Yes.
Anasemaje?
Anasema nice conversation in studio today. Kwa hivyo ni kumaanisha anasikia some content that is giving them
Akiwa Canada.
Yes.
Maybe
ule mtu ako Canada
maybe June anataka kuenda benchmarking huko.
When are we bringing in the snow?
Yeah. We'll have
Nairobi inahitaji snow.
Kwa sababu ile joto iko Nairobi.
Kwanza joto ya KRA.
Yeah.
I think inahitaji some relief. So
kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea, hivyo ndio Kibaki alisema.
Yes. Tulipe.
Hiyo lazima.
Na isiponyoke. Ishikwe vizuri, itumike vizuri. Sio?
Hapo sawa.
Yes. So, kuna kitu hapa nimeona mtu anauliza kwamba as an MCA where you don't have award.
I don't have award, yes.
Do you support awards? What happens? Kama sasa wewe, do you go supporting other people in the awards? Ama wewe ni committee?
Hapana. We support other people in the awards.
Okay.
And especially being a young woman, we have decided in our Women Caucus for Nairobi County Assembly to support the wards that have elected women. So we'll see us doing projects mostly in 5, they're actually just 5 wards that have women elected in this county. And these are 2 NASA and 3 Jubilee, but it's a cross-party divide. So whenever we have, like we want to do charity work, we begin with those wards that have women elected. Bado tunasukuma nini ya 2/3 gender rule. Lakini pia tunafanya pia zile zingine zenye ziko na youth MCAs ambao wako elected. Tuko nazo kama Umoja one, kuna Roro, MC Ronaldo, tuko na pia MC Benso. You know, we have people who have young people who have been elected in this county. Na tunapelekanga huko most of our charity work tunapeleka huko na tunaanza na huko.
How young is the youngest MCA? How young?
She's I think 24.
Wow.
24?
Yes.
Elected.
But in the country we have an elected MCA in Nandi, if I'm not very wrong, who's about 23 years old.
Elected?
Yes, elected.
Wow.
Nandi is leading by example. They have a young governor.
Yes, Stephen Sang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I think we're doing quite well. We are 53% young. The youth are 53% in this country. So I mean,
huge number. That's a huge.
Yeah, we should have a young president, don't you think?
Oh man, absolutely.
Or youthful president.
Youthful.
Tuko na youthful.
Yeah. So it's actually a number that cannot be ignored because then it becomes something else. Yeah.
But hii kwamba mtu wenye pesa ni wale wanono wachache. Na sisi wengine hatuna kitu.
Ndio tunasema tushikane.
Yes.
Hiyo ni kitu by the way imekuwa in my heart for long because I saw unfortunately the terrorists at Dusit. They were young guys.
Yes.
I mean, you know, it's sad when you feel and you look at this young person and that is his only sense of purpose. Like he feels he belongs when he is in this Al-Shabaab group. So there's something that we need to talk about that's not being said. Young people we need to, I don't know, to bring in a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging. It's as if they feel that when they join Al-Shabaab, then of course there's money, these people are your people, they're your brothers. Why can't we reciprocate that and say that we are more patriotic, that you love this other side of town rather than that side that is so destructive? So it's very sad to see young people going through that.
Because you despair ya inchi.
I know what makes you pushes you to that level.
When you lose hope.
The only bendera unaonaga ni ile inatusumbuaga kwa traffic. Wakikuja wakitupigia sinya tunasukumwa.
Kina hawa
waheshimiwa na anaendea kahawa.
Mimi sina kama ni kadogo sana.
Hata unatesagwa. So giving up because I was seeing some pictures of other nations. Unaona mtu ameweka bendera kwake.
Patriotism, you're proud of your country. Because and I think it started way back when, you know, when you go to like say the States or Canada and find Kenyans who are living there, they think of home as unajua huko kunakuwa ni kama ni ushago, unajua hapa Canada tunafanyanga hivi, America tunafanyanga hivi. Wewe wapi? You know, so we need to start. Ati sisi kama nani? Ama ukiona mzungu amekuja unamwambia you know corruption is so bad. I mean come on, sell Masai Mara. You know, you don't have to speak about the negative. Let's speak about the positive, and I think when we continue speaking about the positive, then positive things will come.
Tell them your monkeys drink from straws.
Hata hiyo muoneshe picha.
Page 2.
Yes.
Page 2 in the park.
In the park. Hii ni kitu iko kwa barabara, si ati unaenda kuitafuta.
I know. Mtu anapiga picha. I know.
This is the picture we need to
exactly
propagate.
And it should start with you guys, Jeff. Be positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
June Ndegwa. We're going to end with this tweet from Wayne Bryan. He says, June is a good leader. Some great conversation happening over there. And Chairman Tim Hampton says, I'm glad. Such positive vibes. Thanks so much, June, for being a part of the show this morning.
Thank you.
And I'm sure this is not the
Please
last.
come to the Devolution Conference. We are going to be there. We'll have a pre-youth conference. We are going to host people in camps.
Yes.
We are going to do whitewater rafting. We'll sell Kirinyaga to the world.
And part of the entertainment is Sir Elvis. You
Sir Elvis, I know. We have jeans and boots. So.
Oh my.
Oh my. Oh my.
Prof, lazima ukuje.
Ai, ni lazima unauliza aje? Kwani unataka kunionyesha utalipa?
Kuna Governor Anne Waiguru. So let's go support Kirinyaga.
Minji. Naona hapa hata kuna Kaminji.
Yeah.
Minji kana kama.
Nimekwambia nini? Tumuzoe sahi.
Remember the name, June Ndegwa. She's an MCA here at county number 047 and also chair of the Kenya Young Members of County Assemblies nationwide. This is what we call
Candid interviews with decision. Jeff Koinange and Professor Hamo every day, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on Hot 96.